Let me say at the outset that I am very happy to be at Caabu because I had a very, very rich and rewarding experience with Caabu and its team when I was here in London in the early 70s as a counselor at the embassy with the late Nadim Dimashqi. And then as ambassador from 78 to 83. I always recall Sir Tufton Beamish, Christopher Mayhew, and many others with whom we had excellent relations, and I know how much Caabu has worked and is still working for the Arab cause on the British scene. Having said this, let me tell you exactly who we are, who LPDC is. LPDC has been established 4 years ago, October 2005, by a decree of the Council of Ministers, and this was on the initiative of Prime Minister Sanyura in his first government. And this is the first government ever in the history of Lebanon which has opened the file of the Palestinian issue in Lebanon. Before that, for many different reasons, which I will not, has been a subject or an issue neglected, let me say. And this is, resulted, as we all know, in more of radicalization of the Palestinian presence in Lebanon, because for a very good reason they are living in misery, deprivation, and what have you. I was among the first to enter for the first time with a ministerial delegation to the camps in Lebanon, and what we saw really was appalling. Palestinians in these camps are living at subhuman level, I would say. And that's why it is so important and so vital that this issue has been in the open now. We are working with transparency. As you can imagine, this is basically the responsibility of the international community, the question of the refugees, not only in Lebanon but in other host countries. But still, since more than 300,000 Palestinians live on the Lebanese national soil, the government saw fit. This cannot continue, because as long as these people are living in such deprivation and misery and so on, they are a threat to the stability of the country, as it has been proven what happened in Nahr al-Barid as an example. So LPDC is composed of all the ministries which deal with the questions of Palestinians in Lebanon. Just to cite, we have representatives from the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs, Defense, Labor, Education, Ministry of Labor, Social, Ministry of Justice. All the ministries that deal with the questions of Palestinians are members, or they have representative in this committee, which is called the Lebanese Palestinian Dialogue Committee. The mandate of this committee falls into four things. First is to improve the humanitarian conditions of the Palestinians who are living in Lebanon. Second, to deal with the arms issue inside and outside the camps. As you know, we have certain bases of Palestinians, pro-Syrian factions, in the Bekaa region and in the near Nami, near Beirut, south of Beirut, where they have camps with arms and so on since decades. Don't forget, I mean, this is when we had the Syrian presence in Lebanon for over 30 years, and being so near to the Syrian regime and so on, one can say they are really under the influence of Syria to a large extent. And of course we have the arms inside the camps, how to regulate these arms. And the fourth one mandated to us is to renew the diplomatic relations with the Palestinians. So let me start by the last one, which was the easiest. In 2006, beginning of 2006, we reopened the PLO office in Beirut, and the Palestinian Authority appointed a very distinguished gentleman called Abbas Zaki, with whom we have an excellent relations, working relation. Dealing on all issues concerning the Palestinians in Lebanon. On the issue of the arms, unfortunately, since we were established in 2005, it was few months later on where the war 2006 started by Israel against Lebanon. And then we had the result of the political division inside the country, which lasted for more than a year and so. So there was a kind of paralysis. We were not able really to deal with the issues of the arms, but this does not mean that it is not still on the table. Now that we have a new president elected, and after the elections are over and we have a new government, I'm sure this issue will be put on the table, because already this issue of arms has been dealt with the National Dialogue Committee, which represents all the political leaders in Lebanon, and a decision was taken to put an end to the arms outside the camps and to regulate the arms inside the camp within the context of the sovereignty of the country. So what we were left to tackle is the first item, which is how to improve the humanitarian conditions of the Palestinians, which is a huge. You are speaking about a file which dates 60 years ago. So you cannot imagine to solve these different problems in 1, 2, or 3 years. You need resources, you need time, you need patience to be able to tackle with this problem. But still, in spite of this, I think one can say that LPDC has done a little bit, I wouldn't say great things, but at least some headways has been already done. So if you ask me what LPDC has achieved until now since 4 years, I would cite the following important points. A, there is a new, and this is the most important thing, don't forget that because of what happened on the Lebanese scene between Palestinians and Lebanese during the civil war and so on and so forth, there was a really very bad atmosphere among the two communities, which is natural. But now, after 4 years, one can see that there is a new rapprochement, there is a new page which has been opened between Palestinians and Lebanese. It's no more a taboo, the question of Palestinian, when you speak about. There is an acceptance now on the majority of the Lebanese that something should be done to improve the humanitarian conditions of the Palestinians. There is a realization about this. And this does not mean that what we are doing, settling the Palestinians, or what you call the Tawtin al-Palestinian in Lebanon. Because some politicians like, to use this as a pretext for their own reasons, to use it as a pretext that if you improve the conditions of the Palestinians, this means you are settling the Palestinians in Lebanon. This is totally untrue.